Running backs 2025 fantasy football, my tiers. If you want a copy of these, just hit me up and I will gladly send them to you. We're going to go quick. There's a lot of running backs to talk about, and I don't want to be here all day. So I'll pick a few from each tier and we'll go from there. Not sure what I'm going to say, but we'll make it work. Tier one, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson. Just to be clear, tiers mean that it's your preference, right? It doesn't mean that Gibbs is necessarily a better pick than Barkley. If it's on me, I'm going to pick Gibbs over Barkley, but I won't fight you if you went the other way. I would fight you if you wanted to take Josh Jacobs over Gibbs, for example. So that's how we're looking at the tiers. McCaffrey is the interesting one to have in this tier one. Obviously, he's the one that comes with the most risk here, but you know, risk reward is a something that you have to work out for yourself. And for me, McCaffrey, I think is going to be ranked basically number one every week that he's healthy. And right now, he's healthy. He's the guy going to get the ball a ton in a good offense on a team that has an easy schedule that I think is going to win a bunch of games this year. So that's why I have him ranked with the elites up here in tier one. Tier two, Achane, the rookie, Ginty, Chase Brown, Jonathan Taylor, and big old Derrick Henry still doing his thing. Why is Achane at the top of this, playing on a potentially sinking ship in Miami, which you got with a lot of other talented running backs here? Because when Tua has been healthy, last year, points per touch, Achane is number one in the league. In the first few weeks last year, he was lapping the field in receptions from the running back position. And there's not many other places for the ball to go. The concentration of targets in this offense is very tight, and that is usually good for fantasy purposes. If Achane's healthy, if Tua is on the field, he's going to put up a ridiculous amount of points from both receptions. Plus, we saw in his rookie season, he can break long runs and have a ridiculous average per touch. So there's some risk there for sure, but his upside is RB1 overall. Let's also talk about Chase Brown, who is probably the least sexy of the five names here, but great offense. Once he took over last year for the back half of the season, he was a top five running back almost every week. He's involved in the passing game. He scores touchdowns, and there's not much behind him. There's a rookie, Taj Brooks, who might spell him a little, but Chase Brown, I think, is in this category, in this tier of player, but you can draft him well beyond, round and a half behind the rest of these guys in this tier. Tier three, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker. Bucky Irving obviously exploded in the back half of last season in his rookie season. It doesn't happen often where a guy comes from a day two or day three even pick in the NFL draft to really emerge in his rookie season. But the fact that he did that on an offense that knows how to score points with only about 50% of the touches, huge ceiling here for Bucky Irving. He's a little small and a little brittle for my liking, and I haven't really drafted much of him in my draft so far this year, but his upside is top five overall. Let's talk Kenneth Walker while we're here as well. Seattle, I think, is set up to play defense and run the ball this year. And if you were going into a lab and said, I want a specimen at running back, I want size, I want speed, I want strength, Kenneth Walker is popping out. Problem is, he often is banged up. And second problem is Zach Charbonnet, when taking Walker's spot last year, is a top 3, 5, 10 RB every single week. And that scares me a little bit off of Walker. But you can usually get Walker in the fourth round, maybe even at the 4 or 5 turn. So there's a lot of value there that I'm certainly willing to take a chance on because the upside is tremendous. Tier 4, Kyren Williams, Travion Henderson, the rookie, James Cook, Breece Hall, Omarion Hampton, 2 rookies in Tier 4. Let's talk about Travion Henderson, one of the huge darlings of preseason football and camp this year. Ohio State split the backfield last year, but as a freshman 3 years ago on a team with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Jackson and Smith and Jigba, just like an Anambuka, like a monstrous team of talent, he still caught passes. He still scored touchdowns. The guy is explosive. He's being compared to Jahmyr Gibbs, The Patriots are going to take a step forward with Drake May and Mike Vrabel and now Diggs outside. I like what's happening here in this offense and this franchise, and this kid has all the tools and all the makings of a star. How quickly they move on from Stevenson and give him, Travion 65% of the touches remains to be seen, but at some point this season, that is going to happen. That is why he has steadily crept up boards. Let's talk Breece Hall, because he's one of those that I struggle with, because he is one of the most talented players at this position in the entire NFL. He's that good. And we forget that because he's on the Jets and because he had an uninspiring season last year on a disappointing team. And now we're hearing in camp that Braylon Allen is freaking amazing, which is what I said last year. In the first couple of weeks of the season, when I saw Braylon Allen touch the ball, I remember saying to one of my friends that the Jets have two of the three most talented running backs in the entire league. I was being a little hyperbolic there, but not that much. That's how good these guys are. And it seems to be a 1A, 1B. It feels, the Breece Hall in New York situation feels icky. And I never use that fucking word. I don't know why that just came to me, but that's what it feels like. And that's why he is steadily slipping from the third round to the fourth round. I saw him the other night go at 5'9" or something. And that is insane for the amount of talent he has. And it's probably a team that is going to want to run the ball. And he catches passes. Not that Fields passes to the running back that often, but he's scary, but the talent is so good. Tier 5, James Conner, DeAndre Swift, Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara. DeAndre Swift. I've always liked him since he came out of Georgia. Super talented. Drafted him a lot when he was on the Lions. When he touches the ball a good amount of times in a game, he produces almost without fail. And right now, he's in a Ben Johnson offense. He's got weapons all over the field around him. His back mates in Roshan Johnson and the rookie Kyle Monangai are both questionable, a little banged up. I think Swift, at least for the first, 4, 6, 8 weeks of the season and maybe beyond, is a low-end RB1 that you can get in the 6th round, and somebody that I'm targeting, especially if I go pass catcher heavy up at the top. Tier 6, Tony Pollard, RJ Harvey, Tyrone Tracy. I like this tier. Tony Pollard, especially with Tajay Spears hurt right now, high ankle sprain, probably out a month, let's say. Pollard is talented. A couple years ago, he was talented and super sexy in Dallas when he finally took over for Ezekiel Elliott. Now he's on a Tennessee Titan team that people think is just boring, but they have Cam Ward. They've got Ridley. They've got Chig at tight end. They're a team and a franchise on the upswing, and I think Pollard's going to touch the ball 20 times per game, and he's still a good player and still in his mid-20s. RJ Harvey, rookies are obviously always exciting. He's an older rookie, I think 24 years old, but he's explosive. He can score. He can catch the ball. Problem with Harvey for me is compared to his backmate, J.K. Dobbins, who is also a very talented player who I always am a fan of, there's about a 5-round discrepancy between those two. Give me the cheaper guy, almost always. Tyrone Tracy, again, I don't want to go through every player on here, but I'm a big fan of Tracy too. I think last year he passed the eye test for me as just a really quality running back, as a rookie, a late draft pick that could do it all, catch the ball. He just looks the part to me out there. Obviously, he's got Cam Scadaboo behind him this year, but I think Tracy in round 7, 8, 9, depending on your format, is a great guy to target. Tier 7, Jordan Mason, Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Jalen Warren, Travis Etienne. This is a good group, especially like I like to do, go pass catcher heavy early. I want to target these type of guys as my RB1 or 2. Let's talk about Travis Etienne. Hurt last year, crappy season for the Jaguars. The 2 years prior, I believe 2 years ago, Etienne was a top 5 running back. Before that, 1,300 yards. The guy is incredibly talented. I think the narrative on Etienne being done is overblown, and he's somebody that I'm targeting in round 9, 10. Again, depending on your draft format. Tier 8, Zach Charbonnet, previously mentioned. J.K. Dobbins, previously mentioned. The rookie Caleb Johnson, boring old but reliable David Montgomery, and do not draft Joe Mixon because we don't know if he'll even play this season. We talked about Charbonnet a little bit. We talked about Dobbins a little bit. There's not that much exciting here. I'm going to move on to tier 9. Javonte Williams, Braylon Allen, who we also talked about, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, and the aforementioned injured Tajay Spears. Javonte Williams, a couple years ago, again, super sexy, was a big fan of his. He just didn't perform. Now he's in a new backfield over in Dallas, a team that's going to score points, probably through the air, but whoever's on the field in the backfield is going to have opportunity. And right now, it seems that Javonte Williams is the guy. Miles Sanders, not good at football and questionable. Jaden Blue, a rookie and questionable. He could emerge in the back half of the season, and I like him as a late sleeper for sure. But Javonte, he's pulling me back in, and I'm going to give him another shot. Braylon Allen, we talked about before, just incredibly talented. If it's true that it's a 1A, 1B, he is a steal in round 9, 10, 11, 12 of your draft. Tier 10, 11, 12, let's just take them all together. I'm just going to pull out some names that I like. Starting at the top there, Dylan Sampson. He seems to be, at least week 1, with Judkins still unsigned, in trouble, potentially suspended. Sampson, a 20-year-old rookie, explosive out of Tennessee, seems to be, again, at least week 1, he's the guy getting the touches in the backfield. And even though it's a crappy team, I like that upside. I like betting on a fast 20-year-old who's going to get a bunch of touches. It's very simple. Will Shipley in Philly, backing up Saquon Barkley. I think they'll try to lower Barkley's touches a bit. He had 482 touches, I believe, last year. Shipley's really good. And I think he might have some standalone value as they try to get Barkley off the field. And if Barkley were to go down, Shipley is a low-end RB1. And we love guys like that who have a little bit of standalone value. And if chaos ensues, they can be a league winner. Who else we got over here that we like? Nobody that interesting, to be honest. I mean, I could make a story for Ray Davis. I can tell a story for Trey Benson if they get the opportunity. And I like drafting those guys and like stacking my bench with all of these type of guys. But that's, in the eye of the beholder. Who do you like out of these guys? Back here, Keaton Mitchell. I should probably move him up a tier because I'm a big fan of his. Talk about standalone value and massive upside. Keaton Mitchell is the definition of that. 2 years ago, last year he hurt himself and didn't play at all. 2 years ago, every time he touched the ball, he was a threat to take it the distance. He's one of the most explosive players in the league, in a great offense, behind an aging Derrick Henry. I think they'll manufacture touches for Mitchell because he's so explosive right out of the gate. And I don't want this to happen by any means, if Henry were to go down, Mitchell could be a league winner. I like Brashard Smith, the rookie in KC. I like Sean Tucker if he ever to get a chance in Tampa Bay. We saw what he did last year with a very, very minimal chance, and he exploded. Kendre Miller, the clear RB2 in New Orleans behind an aging Kamara. Talented, but always kind of a dick, to be honest. But if he gets the shot, could be a home run. Let's end it there. Remember, if you want a copy of any of this stuff, you have any questions, you know where to find me, and I am always willing to share and engage. See you next time.